Come on, pal. That's a long intro. Everybody's leaving already.
Okay. So, I can't help it. I don't have a high paid assistant over here to do everything. And so when I make this go live, I need to actually go to my Facebook page and make it go public. And the length of time I need sometimes is waiting for it to kick in and show up on my page.
Yeah.
So the one thing that I can't help but notice is what is, and I'm going to ask you because I've known you for a while and I can say this to you, right? I can go there with it.
I'm already scared, dude.
Okay, what I don't understand what it is about all the guys that come on with their big ass cups. What is the deal with having to have a big cup to drink your shit out of? What is that? What is that?
Hey, not just any cup. I don't know. Can you see that? Where's it from? Boom. The Venetian, Las Vegas.
Okay.
The happiest place on earth.
Okay, do that again. Show that again. I'm going to solo that up.
Oh, okay. Man.
So that wasn't from the night that I spent with you and your wife, is it?
Funny you should mention that because I was thinking you're going to bring that up. The night you slept with me and my wife. Yeah, so let's talk about that. Maybe you should be a little more specific.
This is the right. What happened. Maybe we need to be on a different channel for that conversation. we probably could make some good money off of that, and not even we just leave.
I still have nightmares of that night. I think about it once in a while, and I wake up in a cold sweat. I was sleeping in the same room with Jeff News and my wife. I was like,
no. Okay, so the funniest thing you ever did was call and you, and I'll bet you still won't ever fess up to it. Is you left this message on my answering. Remember the days when you actually had answering machines?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Pager.
A long time ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this, that's how old we are. Right.
Yeah.
If you look better than me.
Oh. Yeah. Right.
I mean,
with all my hair.
Yeah. No, you never had hair, really.
I never had hair. I just came out shaving it. Yeah.
So he left a message on my machine. He said, "Hi, I met you. I met you at the bar the other night, and you gave me this number to call, and you left this really long message. And you remember my assistant, Brandy? And
yes,
and Brandy goes, "Hey, I can't tell whether it was a guy or a girl, but somebody called for you." I listened to it and it was you. I'm going, so I call you up. I go, what was that? And you say, and you go, what? What was what?
I know what you're talking about, Jeff. What you're thinking of somebody else.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway.
I don't know what wait a minute, you didn't know it was me?
I did.
How'd you know it was me?
Come on, I can.
I didn't do my job. I didn't do my job then.
No, you didn't do it well enough. You couldn't disguise.
No, I guess not.
No, I was told today I'm clairaudient, which means I can hear, I can tell stuff from what I hear.
That's why you're a good sound engineer then.
Well, I never no, let's not get carried away. I'm not. So you were showing me your studio there. Now, are you doing a lot of recording with your trumpet and everything? What's up with that?
Well, I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole, so I started this YouTube channel, and then I got a website, and I was like, okay, well, I should probably try to sound good. And then when I was recording, I was like, it doesn't sound good. So then I had to get a mic. People tell me get the preamp, and then I got the interface, and then, a couple $1,000 later, that's why I'm using it, right? And now people want to do sessions and stuff, so can you do it at your house? So it's worked out pretty well.
And that's what everybody's doing down here. All the guys,
Right.
all the guys that are called for all the sessions, they're just recording their parts at home now. Or they
Right.
have been. And you've got all the right stuff. The only thing that I would say, the DX7 is just, it's cool just because it's there.
Don't be jealous. I know.
I'm really
I know.
jealous.
That's a dinosaur right there, buddy.
Yeah, you
From
can't
1986.
you can't find those anywhere. But so are you doing a lot of sessions then, or are you able to make some dough? And tell me about your YouTube channel and stuff.
Well, the YouTube channel came out of, I was sitting with a student one day, and I'm like, telling these kids, basically the same thing. And I was like, why am I just teaching one kid at a time? And I think, I started thinking, well, I'll just start putting stuff on YouTube for them to access in the meantime or play along with. And then it just grew into one thing after another. And then I've got a bunch of YouTube videos and tutorials and stuff, and books that I've been sending out to people and subscribers, and the whole circus.
Wow. How many subscribers do you have?
7,700, almost 8,000.
Almost 8,000?
Yeah.
What the?
I don't know. It's that good. My kids give me, crap because, Dad, you're not YouTube famous.
8,000?
7,000. Yeah.
7,000
Yeah.
viewers or subscribers.
Yeah.
Dude.
I don't know. Is that a lot? That seems like nothing on YouTube,
I've got 58.
Now you're.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like free stuff, man, like free content. I'll put out a free etude or a free jazz solo, and I'll send, the PDF, the play along, all that stuff.
Oh.
It's fun, man. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Fun.
So, you can monetize it. You can sell advertising.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I haven't done that. I haven't done any of that. I know. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I don't know how much extra revenue it's going to bring. Maybe you can. Do you know about that stuff? I'm interested.
Sorta. I mean, I've had a couple of guys on the show that tell me about it. And once you start getting sponsors and things, then
right.
you can make a lot of money,
Really?
Yeah, it's really possible, but you got to put a lot of content out like you're doing. And one thing that I just learned about the other day is if you want to recommend a certain, like somebody calls you up and said, where can I find that music? And you say where to find the music. You send send somebody a link to something, or send somebody a link to buy this trumpet. That there are companies that have an affiliate program like Amazon.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And so
I use that. I do that.
Do you? So I'm told that I need to do that because I'm recommending all these interfaces, Scarlett interfaces, and all these little samplers and stuff.
If you're really serious about it, man, you're in a perfect situation because, first of all, I mean, you're in a popular niche, right?
Yeah.
Sound recording studios, right? Yes, there are a lot of other people, but then everybody goes, well, everybody's doing it. And then I always tell them, well, yeah, but nobody's going to do it like you. There's only one you, right? So I tell everybody, just do it, man. Just get started. But the cool thing about affiliate links is if they click on your link, and apparently, I know this for a fact, but if they go buy toilet seats and car tires and, soap, if they went through your link, you get a piece of that.
For everything they buy within 24 hours, you get right now. They've lowered it because everybody's buying online.
Right.
But it's still 2%. Mm-hmm. So if they spend, $1,000, if they buy a camera or they buy, a Focusrite interface, and a microphone or something,
exactly.
You can make $100 easy.
But then it's evergreen content. The link is always good. Right. So if you've got a video that talks about that microphone you're using, whatever it is, and then a link to it, it stays up forever. People are making thousands of dollars.
That is true. That is true. And there's all kinds of ways to maybe monetize some of this stuff. And what about lessons? Are you doing lessons too?
Yeah, I've
I mean,
got. I'm averaging about 40 a week or
gee,
more. I know. I know.
geez. Are they all
All my.
lessons?
What's that?
Zoom?
They're all mostly FaceTime. I've got a handful of Zoom, a handful of Skype still, but all my old students came along, and now that's the other thing through the YouTube channel is I wasn't looking for more students, but people hit me up and they say, "Hey, you want to do a lesson?" And then I got some people from LA that are coming. I taught a lesson guy in Hawaii. It's pretty cool,
Well,
you know.
it's that, what are they, 30 minutes, an hour, or?
The online lessons for that come through the YouTube channel or through my website are an hour. But
What's your,
all my younger kids are half an hour. The adults are an hour.
wow, that's really cool. What?
Yeah, it was seamless.
Yeah. So
I mean, right when the lockdown, I said, "Hey, let's do FaceTime, Skype. You know, what do you think about that? Let's try it." And they were all on board, all of them.
nice.
So I was lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And did you have your studio together pretty much before that happened? Well, that's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
This, you were ahead of the game. A lot of people hadn't even ever thought about getting anything. And the minute
Right.
this all happened, they're like, "What? Oh, what?"
Scrambling.
Yeah, yeah. And now,
So go ahead.
no, sometimes you freeze up a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Make sure I'm in the right Wi-Fi. But I was gonna say now I also get like trumpet players are like, "Hey Jeff, what mic do I use? You know, I need an interface. I got to do a session. You know," and I'm like, "Oh, dude, I'll send them, you know, links and stuff."
Right.
But they still have to put the studio together and learn all that stuff, and it's like, yeah,
Well,
that's a rabbit hole.
yeah, but it doesn't have to be if you're just doing a trumpet part.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
all you need really is an interface and a mic and as you discovered, to make a trumpet sound good, you really have to have a decent mic.
you got to have a good mic, and I think the interface is pretty crucial too.
Yeah, you
And
got a good mic.
if you don't have a preamp, you'll probably be all right. But the universal audio, the digital interface that I got, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Just with that.
Focusrite makes a pretty good one. That's what I use. But both of
Right.
them are pretty good. So
Yeah.
are you looking forward to doing a lot of live gigs, or are you cool with just hanging at home now?
Well, I mean, I actually this is pretty cool. It's really efficient. I mean, think about all the time you're in your car, you're stuck in traffic. You know, I mean, of course, I still love doing gigs. A lot of it is to hang. You know, now
Right.
it's just seeing people that you haven't seen in a while, and you just pick up where you left off, right? So there's that. I mean, of course, I want to play. Gigs were kind of slowing down, and it was anyway. You know, for a number of reasons, a lot of the bands either left or people retired because I'm getting older. You know, I'm still working, but it's not like it was, and that's okay. I'm teaching a ton. I'm still playing and practicing, doing stuff.
Yeah. The only thing that you can't do by staying at home is stopping by the casino.
Well, let me tell you something about internet poker, Jeff.
Oh no!
It's 24/7.
Wait. So, so do you win a lot? Yeah, it's just not the same though. Sitting around a bunch of tables with the fellas, you know, having a cigar, you know, whatever.
Those were the good days when you could smoke a cigar, and the years ago, those were the glory days. And then no, there's a lot of it's different now. Everybody can play, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is different. I mean, you know, I went to Vegas with you know, some musician friends last year, and we were going to go in a couple weeks, but obviously we're not going now, even though it's open. I mean, I don't want to go now. But man, we had a great time. And they're all poker players too. So we just play poker and then eat and drink.
Poker, eat, and drink. You know,
Is there anything else? What else do you need to do?
well, in Vegas, nothing.
No, right?
Pretty much, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you could go fishing. No, that's not.
In Vegas, no.
So, are you a good poker player? I mean, I don't.
Everybody thinks they're a good poker player, Jeff. Everybody does. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that I am not. I would lose everything.
Well, I've got a game for you, my friend. Anytime you're in town.
Okay, yeah. Well, good luck getting money out of me now. You know,
yeah, right. There is that. Yeah.
Banks are trying to get money out of me now.
Yeah. Yes. Well, the poker thing, man, I mean, real quick, is like, everybody thinks they're good poker players until you get really, really into it. It's kind of like playing an instrument or like golfing, right? I used to golf and it was humbling, because it's so hard. And then, you start playing poker. It's about math. It's about players. It's about position at the table. And there's a lot involved. And then you read a book, and then you read another book, and then you start watching videos, and you go. And then, of course, there's these math wizards that are just like calculating. They're like, Rain Men, and they just, it's a whole different level. They're thinking 4, 5, 10 levels ahead of me, and I'll never be there. So I have to stick to my comfort zone. Yeah.
So you got to make sure you don't sit at a table where somebody. Can you tell whether somebody's at the table? They're good at counting cards and stuff.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah. You don't want to make sure that you're the worst guy at the table. It's okay if there's 2 or 3 wizards, but you can't be the worst player. It's the old saying: if you can't spot the sucker in the first 10 minutes, you are the sucker. You never watched it?
No.
You never heard that?
No.
Oh man, you never watched Rounders, the best movie in the history of movies? Matt Damon poker movie? Jeff, you have to watch it tonight. Tonight.
Okay.
Matt Damon. Oh, so good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I you know what? I never really watched that movie. No. I have no idea what it's about.
It's about poker. It's the best movie ever.
Really?
But it is. Yeah, it's John Malkovich plays this Russian mob poker casino owner. Like, in New York, there are no legal casinos, so it's all underground, right? So he has this underground John Malkovich playing a Russian, I think. Yeah, just so good. You got to watch it tonight.
Okay, so if anybody was tuning in thinking they were going to talk about music, no, we're talking about poker here. This is a poker. This is the poker.
Don't get me started with poker, man. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk. No Limit Hold'em, Pa Limit Omaha, PLO. What? You want to talk Omaha 8 or better, 7-card stud? What do you want to play?
I know nothing. I don't know that stuff.
That's good. That's good. Don't learn.
This is one thing I will never gamble. You know why? I always lose, and I value keeping the money I have.
You're smart. Keep it that way.
So did you ever play golf with Tommy Politzer?
I did, and I remember it was a foursome. I think it was maybe my brother, Politzer, and maybe even Fasman went. I don't know. And the first tee, I hadn't played in a while. I think I completely whiffed the ball, and it got really silent. And then everybody fell out, right? And that was it, right? Yeah, I've played with Lewis, with Politzer. Who else did I used to play with Alex, Alec, not Merzen. Alec, he lives down in LA now.
Alex Budman?
Alex Budman, yeah. We used to go out and play in San Francisco. But I don't play anymore because I don't have that kind of time. And it's expensive too.
It is expensive, yeah. Especially if you want to play on a nice green, nice course.
Yeah, nice course.
Yeah.
Politzer's really good, man. And Fasman's really good too.
Really?
That's a really, really athletic, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
uh, I, I want to ask you about what it's like to play with Bill Champlin.
Man,
What?
okay.
You froze up. Hold it. You
It's like
froze up.
where we. How about now?
Okay, there you go. It must be your
Okay.
internet. You know,
Man, my internet's good.
is it
Yeah,
Wi-Fi?
we're solid, baby.
Is it Wi-Fi?
Is it what?
Are you using Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Dude, we're good.
Yeah. Do you
Bill Champlin.
do you have it running through that DX7? Maybe it's
Let me just let me fix my Wi-Fi, dude. No, Bill Champlin is a genius. And you know how some players have it. Bill Champlin has it.
yeah.
And I'm trying. I was talking to his wife Tamara and to Bill, and I said, you know how they have those master classes, like Herbie Hancock has a master class, and Daniel Negreanu, who's a really good poker player, has one on ballet dancers. But I said I would love to see one from Champlin because he could do songwriting, he could do singing, he could do organ playing, he could do guitar, he could do composition, how to I don't know, talk about vocals, chord changes. It's everything.
Yeah, he's pretty amazing. And the reason why I want to ask is because people from the Bay Area, on the most part, know who he is, but he's kind of one of those guys that's brilliant, but isn't that well known. People don't really know the scope of his work. I think, unless you're a musician.
Well, a lot of people know him from Chicago too. His days with Chicago. I mean, he played so many years as a lead singer and organ player in that band.
That's when they were the best.
Right.
Yeah. When Bill was with them, they were the best. But when he left, it kind of fell apart.
Well, you really like Bill Champlin. That's why.
Yeah.
But like, okay, for example, like I stand right, like he's all over the place. He'll play guitar and he'll go sing over there. But then I stand right next to his organ, right? Mm-hmm. And then he'll be playing a solo, and I don't get chills a lot. But when Bill starts playing, I'll just go, like after the solo, like we'll be on a break or something. I'll go, dude, what? Wow.
Yeah.
It's like, I know, I guess I got a piece of that one or something. I don't know. But he plays the coolest stuff. And I asked him, like, where did you learn all that stuff? And he tells me, I learned it by listening, and George Duke, stuff like, guys like that. And then he'll start singing. And the other thing is, like, I don't know, how old is he? 70 maybe? Ish?
Yeah.
Maybe getting there?
He's got to be, because I bought the first album, the first Sons album, when I was like, 70 or something. And so, I'm 62. So he's I know he's older than me. So yeah, I'm guessing
right.
The 70.
Yeah.
He still sings great.
So we'll do these rehearsals, right? And then he'll come in and he's like a kid in a candy store. It's like he'll start working all the vocals, right? Because they layer like 3 or 4 part harmonies. So they'll sit and do that for a while, and then we'll work on these tunes, and they'll do it again. And then he's so into it. I mean, it's just inspiring, really.
Mm.
And then he'll always come up with new ways of playing. And then you ask him, like, Bill, what chord is that? And he goes, oh, that's a D over a B, and then, well, no, but we can do this. And then why don't you sing this? And then horns, why don't you play this? So he's arranging, he's doing the vocals, he's songwriting. But the other guy in that band, man, is Jeff Palmer, the other keyboard player.
Yeah.
He's another guy. He'll start soloing, and I'll go, Jeff. It's like just trying to learn. It's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm just, he'll talk about Herbie Hancock, and jazz guys, but then he'll just he's like one of those guys that doesn't think, oh, here comes an A chord, so I can play a C sharp, or here's an E altered so I can play an F and a G. It's like they just play, and that's what's cool because it's just coming out, right? It's all coming from inside, and I don't. It's a kind of playing that I wish I could do on that level, you know.
But
they just play.
But you're there, so you're kind of at that level, bruh.
I was well, I was fortunate for whatever reason. Bill liked my playing, and I think he liked me, so I was in. And Johnny Beaumont brought me in. It was Johnny and I first, and then Johnny got the Huey gig, and then Tim Kaine, the original sax player, came back, which is cool. Tim's a really good player. I mean, really plays really nice melodies, right? I just want listen to him. Same thing. It's like he's not thinking pentatonic this and this. He's just playing melody. He's telling his story. And it's like, and people love Tim. And Tim's super likable.
Yeah.
I always say people come to see you, Tim, because like I'll be packing up after the gig, and there's like literally 8 people lined up to talk to Tim.
Wow.
You know, and Bill too, and other people. But you know, it's like, man, those guys are on another level, man.
You know, it kind of makes me think of Tower a lot because they're and maybe Lydia Pence, you know, and Cold Blood.
Yeah.
Because they have that history of playing, especially in the Bay Area, where people go to see them and want to talk to them and you know meet them, and you know they kind of come from another time in music when it was all you really did is just sit and play all the time.
Yeah, exactly. My brother and I were talking about that. A lot of playing. You just play. You rehearse.
Yeah.
And you play tunes and you learn tunes, and you're not alone in your studio all the time. You're actually a band.
Yeah.
There are no more bands really.
Yeah, and you now that you mention that, there was a time when I called you and said you're like the guy that I see in everybody's band photo. Speaking of bands,
yeah. Now it's now it's the younger generation, which is totally cool. Yeah.
For those kinds of gigs, though, is there still a reasonably happening gig in the Bay Area, a scene for
there?
Kind of thing?
There are still bands like that. Well, what is it? The Lucky Devils or something? They have 4 or 5. Is that the name of the group?
I don't know.
You know, they have a lot. They have a lot of spin-offs.
The Lucky Devils were.
I guess they contact people.
They were kind of a.
They contact people through. What's that?
They were kind of a swing band for a while when they first started.
Maybe I'm thinking about a different group. But what they do is they have a pool of players, and if they have a gig in Tahoe, they'll contact people up there. If it's in Sacramento, then they have Vegas, and then LA, and they'll, like West Coast. So they contact you, and if you can do the gig, it's like, okay, I can do the gig, I'll be there. And it's kind of, it's thrown together, but everybody more or less knows the tune.
Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of, I guess, that's one way to make money.
Which you choose not to do anymore, right? You're doing a different thing.
Oh, you played my last gig with me. You played my last.
I know.
That
makes me sad.
That was a rough gig. The horns that night were really, really good. You guys killed everything, and I mean you and Todd and John Gove
and but those guys, those are the best. Those are the best. Those guys, man. And then we did that little Dixieland. We were waiting, at the wedding, and we're waiting to do that little Dixieland thing on the wagon or whatever, going back to the reception.
Yeah.
Just talking music the whole time and other stuff. But hey, what tunes do you want to do? I don't know any of these tunes. Oh, let's do, Sweet Georgia Brown. All right. Okay. Yeah, got it. Well, let's do St. James. Oh, what key? And it's like, oh, you'll hear it, and just go. Yeah. Because we're not playing a lot of Dixieland, right? But
right. Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
So those the days when we were working together, and the days of the early bands,
yeah.
when you were a band and you rehearsed and you had lots of gigs. That was a whole different way of playing. And I really, when I was a kid, that's kind of how things were. But by the time we were working together, those kind of days were gone where people didn't have bands and have lots of club gigs to play.
No, and it was, remember, it got to be the point where everybody was doing pay to play. You know, I have like nephews that were in like these rock bands and they tour all over the place, but I mean, there was really no money to be made, right? They were living in the van and really scraping by. I mean, they were playing, but there was no money.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a different kind of touring.
Well, what happens now for a lot of those bands that want to kind of get it, they have to come with a guest list and have a good email base,
right?
And they need to say, well, we'll guarantee these many tickets sold.
Right.
And
right.
And that's how they get the gig, and then they get a percentage or gets some of the ticket sales. So it's not.
So how would they do that if they're traveling across the country? I mean, do they have to have an international YouTube following or something? I don't even know.
Man, you know, I don't know
right?
either. It, you know, some of those guys like to they have a manager or somebody that calls themselves a manager and, you know, calls ahead.
Right.
And, you know, you have those, what is the circuit that those guys play? It's not Coachella, but there's a whole circuit that those kinds of bands play. Is that what you're talking about? They're club band.
Yeah, but it wouldn't, like, bands that don't really have, well, they don't have any following. They just want to play. And they'll like group 3 or 4 or 5, I think, or more. And they play these events all across the country. And I'm not even sure how they're making money. Maybe they got to pay out of their pocket a little bit. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask my nephew.
But they're getting good experience.
They're getting good experience.
But no.
Well, I was lucky, man. Like when after college, had the opportunity to audition for Ray Charles and then this blues band, Joe Louis Walker. And it was like, well, I'll go audition for Joe first and then see what happens. And I ended up getting the gig with Joe, and I played with him for 4 years, right? We toured every single state. We went to Europe multiple times a year. We went to Australia. We toured all of Canada as well, and almost every country in Europe multiple times a year. We were gone a lot, and I was getting paid. That was some of the most fun gigs I ever did. I mean, I was young. It was fun. We're going to places I'd never been, and that's what I wanted to do after college. So I was paying my rent. We were eating. It was good. I was paying everything. We were good.
Yeah.
You know, touring in a band. We rehearsed. Joe was like phenomenal. Blues guitarist, singer, songwriter. And he had albums at the time, and then CDs. And he sold them on gigs, and he was doing fine, and we were getting paid. Yeah.
Was that in the 80s?
It must have been like 87, 90, 92 through 96-ish.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay.
So somewhere around there.
So you got out of college, like you went to college like late 80s, early 90s?
Yeah. I graduated in 87.
Yeah.
So it was like after probably a couple of Great America stints playing at Great America, which everybody played there. I mean, Louis Bassman played there, Bertetta played there, Jeff Cressman played there, Chris Strom, Scott Sorkin, all kind of guys.
Yeah.
And girls playing there. And those were fun too. We had Mark McFadden was there, man. We had a lot of fun. I remember we did 6 sets a day at Great America, right? But we only had, if it got over 90 degrees, we only had to pay 20 minutes. So we played 20 minutes. We had 40 minutes off, 20-minute sets, 20 minutes on, 40 off. And then we'd slip into a show and play like a number, I don't know, it wasn't even 5 minutes. We'd go to lunch for an hour, play 3 more short sets. And then we go to a salsa gig or a cumbia gig or whatever and play 4 sets till 1 or 2 and then do it all again.
Wow.
We were working all the time. It was so fun.
Don't you? I kind of miss that sort of thing, that sort of playing.
I do too, but I can't imagine it doing now. I don't think I could physically do. That's 10 sets, 4 days.
You got to be pretty. You got to be kind of young and just like be able to take abuse a little bit.
A little bit. I remember throwing my back out, and I was young. I was like I did do a lot of like three gigs. It was a 3 gig day, and it was a salsa gig, and I had to play the first part. And I remember blowing, and then my back just going boop, and I was like, oh, you know. And then it was like everything came down an octave because I couldn't play. It hurt so bad,
you know,
just because physical, you know.
I wonder how many people actually understand what it takes physically to play a trumpet, to blow and hit high notes, what it takes in the lung and the back to push the air.
Well, I've already had 3 hernia surgeries, and almost every trumpet player I know has multiple hernias. Sax players too. I knew a guy that blew out his eye vessels, so he was seeing blood. Yeah, he got, you know, yeah. Another guy blew out both tonsils at the same time, just ruptured them. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know an classical opera player had to stop because if he kept playing, he'd go blind because of the back pressure, something with glaucoma or something. So he ended up being a teacher. He had to quit.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, I know a guy just split his lip this way. Like, not, you know, you press and you split it this way, right? Kind of a normal thing. He split it this way, and I was like, I never heard of that in my life.
No,
yeah.
Weird.
That's bad.
Yeah. Man.
It's a little physical, yeah. Well, either that or I'm playing wrong. Could be that too.
Well, not, yeah.
Bad habits.
Well, you know, it's interesting because not playing drums correctly too can be just as physical and hurt. You know, you can mess stuff up, but not like that. You know, the pressure that's on a person's head when they're really pushing and trying to get those high notes and squeeze that little air through that. I mean, that's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of compression too. I remember when my hernia blew, it was on a gig, and I could see it had popped out, right? You know, down below. Oh. So I remember there was one of those big monitors on the bottom. I had to finish the gig, put my foot on the monitor like this, and play the rest of the gig like this, and with my hand to push to keep it in, because every time it would pop out, it just hurt like hell.
Oh.
After that, I got surgery, man. Oh, the surgery is horrible, man. It's like, oh, and then I've got 2 those mesh things, 20 polyurethane staples, and 2 screws in there to keep it, you know, my stomach from blowing out.
Still now, always, forever?
It's in there forever, yeah. It's in there forever.
Oh my God. No, you know, just stick with poker, stick with the trumpet lessons right there. You know,
it's a lot, dude.
Man.
Hey, you said you were gonna have Leah Pence on.
Yeah, well, I had not for sure. I mean, it's just I'm working on it. You know, here's the thing: is there's a lot of people went on. I've kind of asked and sent emails and stuff, and not everybody jumps on it. But then I get guys like Ralph Humphrey, you know, that came on last week, and you know that dude is a legend drummer, you know, and Jerry Brown, you know, that played, you know, with Stevie Wonder for 13, 14 years, and Lionel Richie, and now he's with Diane. You know, he played with Stanley. You know, so I'll get guys that'll say yes. I'm like, wow. And then I'll have know. And then, you know, there's a lot of people I want, and I'll, you know, email, text, and they're like, yeah, they don't really know what it is. The interesting thing is, after we talk, when it's done, they're going like, hey, this was fun. I go, yeah, we're just talking about, you know, you. I mean, it's
yeah. Who doesn't want to talk about themselves? Come on, man.
Right. I mean, the thing is it's really just talk. And this is the other interesting thing is if somebody watches the whole thing, there's always something really valuable that you could learn. You know, it's like I had this choreographer on Saturday. I talked to him, and we were going to talk about choreography, and he ended up telling me that he's not really doing that anymore. He's doing camera work. And he started telling me all kinds of stuff about cameras. And he started telling me how to get YouTube hits. And I'm thinking, right? So he says when you put up a YouTube, right, you put they only need to be like 30 seconds. And the object is to get views. Like do something for 30 seconds to get views. Then you put the title, a catchy title, and you repeat it 3 times. You do it 3 times, like Jeff Lewis blows his hernia. Jeff Lewis blows his hernia. Right? Put a little snippet of you playing a high note, and then the object is if you get like if you get it like right away after like he'll say he started filming boxers, right? So after a boxing match, he would go on and talk about it and do a little skit, a little YouTube thing right after the boxing match, and try to get as many views right away. And, put a little catchy title 3 times. And then he said, you'll be surprised how quickly things will start trending if you jump on it right away.
And they're that short, huh? That's
he said they only need to be like 30 seconds or a minute because people will just tune in like, oh, that's cool. And they'll tune in. Oh, that's cool. And all of a sudden it'll start trending. Right.
Right.
So I'm talking to this guy. I'm like, man, if somebody wanted to, I mean, there's so many little things, and just some of the things you already said about, when you blow on the trumpet and your hernia pops. I mean, you got to be careful, and you talk about doing lessons, and there's always information that somebody gets out of the conversation.
Right.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's cool. And they learned some things about poker tonight.
Well, we barely scratch the surface about poker, Jeff. That's going to have to be a whole separate show.
Okay, all right. So, well, let me ask you, what's more fascinating to you right now? I mean, you've always been passionate about music, right? You've always loved playing your horn, and you've always loved doing that. But what really fires you up? Your big cup?
My big cup. I will tell you what fires me up. Okay, so. Let's say I got a student who's struggling. I mean, he's just like struggling, or she, right? Mm-hmm. Or whatever. It's usually some physical issue with the jaw or the lips or something, right? And then they're just struggling. And then I'll take a whole lesson, and we'll start to adjust, their embouchure. We'll adjust their lip position. We'll adjust their jaw position. And if something clicks, I get more joy out of that than anything musically. I had one kid, he's struggling. I said, put your horn up, put your jaw like this. And he goes, wee! And then he got up and went, what? Like that. And I was like, yes, like that. And he was like, what? I've never, it was like, that was it. I dig that.
That is cool.
I like helping kids play better, especially if they struggle, because I don't want kids to struggle, because they're going to quit, and then they're going to have this not weird, but they're going to have an aversion to playing and music. It's not going to be enjoyable, because if you were playing drums and it was really hard, right, and it didn't sound good, you wanted to play.
Yeah.
If it wasn't fun, you just quit. So helping kids and adults too, just like have that. Wait, you mean you could play a C sharp melodic minor scale over a C7 alt? I said, yeah, that's all it is. They're like, I love that.
That's cool. So you're getting a chance to get a lot of that right now with students.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted
even more now with the YouTube channel and the website. I mean, I'm getting, it's been gret.
I'm amazed at your YouTube channel thing. And Todd Dickow says hello.
Todd's killing me.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But nobody can kill anybody better.
And John Gope.
John Gope. Or Jamie Brewer.
Jamie Brewer. I haven't seen him in forever. Is he still playing with the Whispers?
No, he hasn't been playing with Whispers for a while.
Where is he? Is he in Atlanta still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I talk to him 3 times a week.
Oh man, tell him I said hello.
Oh, well, no, Todd, no, I'm not. No, but so the trumpet, the students give you joy, and other than that, so you, when you're sitting around thinking, and you're getting creative with how your YouTube channels and playing things, and I got to check out your YouTube channel. What do you have a name to it? Is it just Jeff Lewis?
Just Jeff Lewis Trump.
Jeff Lewis Trumpet.
That's it.
And,
Jeff Lewis Trumpet.
Does poker get that passion? I mean, you seem to get pretty fired up with all of the nuances of poker playing. Do you spend a lot of time like reading and studying it?
Yes. Jeff, let me tell you something. Okay. So you do music, you're teaching 6 hours a day. So you're practicing. I'm trying to practice a couple hours a day. I'm trying to do some YouTube stuff, and I'm trying to do some books. So we're in 10 hours, right? I need a little something, because I don't do drugs. I need something that's different. I need a change of pace, right? And this is and the other cool thing is, like, the people I used to play poker with, it's a whole different crew. There's some really cool, fun people that I've met over the years playing poker. And they don't mix with the musicians, so nobody knows anybody. So I'm just you're that music guy. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, let's just keep it at that. It's like they know me as a poker player. Like, it's a different persona, right?
Well, Todd
it's
says
a good break.
Yeah, Todd says drugs are cheaper though.
Oh, man. Yeah. So I don't know about that. My poker tuition's been a few bucks over the years. Yeah.
Well, so it's in the Bay Area, everybody knows me as a musician, and everybody in LA knows me as a sound guy. Nobody knows that I even play drums.
Right? Isn't that weird? Yeah. And it's okay. You're like leading that life.
Yeah, I don't care. It's like, I don't care about playing drums. Not at all. No, I don't care.
Not at all. And you're doing a ton of work, right? You're a hustler, man. You're always hustling gigs, right?
Yeah, well,
You're doing okay in LA?
No, well, I was,
Right.
I was.
Right.
Is the Venetian going to get some royalties? Are they paying you for this?
Sometimes I pay them. Sometimes they pay me. It all depends. Just depends how the cards are running, Jeff.
Man, I'm going to get me a big ass cup to drink when I come here, and I can. You know who Paul Nathan is? The magician.
No,
he's a magician, San Francisco. He pulled up a cup. I swear to God, was as big as his head. I mean, I'm like, what is it with guys in big cups?
Well, what was in it?
Well, I don't know. Maybe nothing. Who knows?
Right.
So anyway, you're playing poker, and did you watch Molly's Game?
I didn't, because it looks so Hollywood. Now, should I watch it?
Well, I don't know if it will tell you a lot about playing poker, because I learned a lot of information about you, but it tells you about how people set up the game,
Oh yeah.
In the back rooms and for the high rollers.
Oh, I know how they set up the games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you get on some of those lists now. Hey, there's a game happening tonight down at
No, I always joke. I say, to my friends, it's like, hey, if this guy ever shows up, let me know. I'm always trying to get in.
Well, do you want to try to beat those guys or learn from those guys?
Honestly, I just want to beat everybody, right? People say a real poker player would take money from your grandmother.
Yeah, is that you? Would you take money from your grandma?
When guys want to play, like, I'll play musician games, and they don't. I mean, they're not playing for a whole lot of money. Not that I play for a lot of money, but it's all in fun. I mean, I don't win or lose. We're just having fun.
Right.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm whatever.
Yeah.
I just want to have fun. It was like my friend, man. He had the perfect saying. We were talking about. He said, for him doing gigs now, he says it's not the circus, it's the clowns.
It's
That's I'd never heard that. I was like, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
But you mentioned the thing about taking gigs is more about the hang anymore than it is about playing. A lot.
It's about what?
It's about the hang. It's like hanging out with the guys more than it is.
It's about the hang, yeah.
More than it is playing.
Well, it's a combination of things. I mean, you're not going to do gigs that you don't want to do for a variety of reasons. But the gigs you do want to do, a lot of times it's the music and it's the people, it's the hang too, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, do you play with PLO with
PLO?
PMO, PM.
Talking about pot. You're talking poker. You're talking poker now. Pot Limit Omaha. PMO. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you with Pacific Mambo Orcas PMO?
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of those gigs, all of them, or a few, or what?
Well, they've got a smaller group that I'm not in. I don't do. They've got like a 6-horn group as opposed to the big like 15 horns or whatever it is. So they got to travel smaller just because of, money. It makes more monetary sense.
Right.
But I play anytime it's the big band. Yeah.
That's cool. So
it is.
Yeah. Are there any other big bands or any of those kinds of things around much anymore that you worked in?
Well, Tommy Igoe has a big band that's steady. I mean, I've done it a handful of times. I'm not in the band, but Lewis is doing it. Stefan's doing it, and I think John Gull plays occasionally. Politzer's in it. I think Mark Russo might still be in it, but it was a big band, and then it got smaller. I think for the same reason. But as far as big bands, no.
So in terms of the overall musicians that the horn players. From my day and looking at the horn players, there's a handful of guys that are like the guys. They're still still the same handful of guys, right? Are there a lot of younger kids coming up, or?
There's some really good youngsters coming. I always make the mistake. I'm going on Instagram. Like if I have to respond to somebody or something, I'll go scroll through Instagram, and there's always some 18-year-old girl or 20-year-old or 16-year-old kid that is just killing. And I gotta say, man, you sound great. I don't know these kids. It's like, keep it up. You sound awesome. These guys are playing circles around me because there's just so much information. I have an 8th grade. He's a 6th grader. Dig this. Okay, 6th grade. I remember how I sounded in 6th grade. I said, okay, well, today we're going to go over giant steps, in 3 keys, and it goes like, and I said, so what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to play digital patterns. We're going to play the 1, 2, 3, 5 of every chord and scale. And he goes, okay. Literally like that fast. I was like, are you serious?
6th grade?
He's a 6th grader. Yeah. So then I keep pushing him, I mean, this kid got more talent than I'll ever have, right? And he's a Brazilian kid. His whole family's real musical. His brother plays. He's amazing, perfect pitch. But this kid is like, and he plays classical too. And he just made an alternate in the San Francisco Symphony, the U Symphony, which is mostly college players, I think. I don't really know. And now he's an alternate. Yeah.
And he's in 6th grade.
Yeah. This kid got so good and classically, I had to send him. I said, look, I got to send you off. You got to just study with a symphonic player,
Wow.
And he's diligent. Like, oh, what do I have to do? And he writes it down. Okay. So, and then what? Okay. And then he puts it on his board in his room and he just does it.
Man, it almost sounds like the Jacob Collier guy.
Yeah, that I show Jacob Collier. What is it? Fascinating Rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
The version. Have you heard him do that?
Yeah.
And then he does like those 16-part harmonies of him singing,
Yeah.
and I almost start crying because it's like I don't understand. I mean, I've seen it and I get it, but I don't understand how you could come up with that.
It's unbelievable. It's yeah. It's beyond me. That's why I'm doing this.
Well, I mean, I still try to play, but you know, it's like you hear guys like that, and you go, "Has it?" You know, there's another guy like that. You know, you should have on the show is Paul Hansen.
I have already.
You've had Paul Hansen. He's another guy that just plays.
He's
a genius.
He pulled out his bassoon and said, "Yeah, you do it like this." I'm like, "Oh my God!" And he's playing with Billy Cobham.
I know.
I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, I know.
Just a quick story. So you remember when I had my first big band? You may have came along a little after. You were originally in my band, right? You were like,
we did the big band.
Yeah. So when we did a clinic at Dave Martell's high school.
Yes, I was there. Yeah.
So Paul Hansen was there one day, and the kid stood up and started taking the solo. How much money you make every time you show that cup? She's like five.
I know. I got to make sure I said this side and not this side.
Show it again. Just get it up there. Come on. The Venetian. There you go. Woohoo! Yes. More. All right. So this kid was playing this solo, and he was just kind of playing, and he sounded pretty good. And Paul stopped him and said, "Okay, what were you feeling while you were playing that?" And the kid goes, "Well, I was just kind of thinking this." And he goes, No, I want you to think about something. I want you to feel something. I want you to, and then when you're feeling that, I want you to feel that and play how you're feeling. Try to get that. And so they started it over, and it was night and day. The kid just tore it up after.
Totally different.
Yeah. And, it was interesting because I never would have thought of that in that particular moment,
Yeah.
So but that's the kind of, he's always, man, he's deep too. Like you are with your poker, you're deep.
I try to run deep. Here's my Paul Hansen story, and this is where I knew he was on another level. So we're playing with Rob Mitter. He had a band, Ben Marcato and the Mondo Combo. So it's he and I. Rob had just written a song, and it was a hard tune. It had a lot of chord changes with a lot of extensions. So it was like a lot of 11s and 13s and flat 9s and sharp 9s and sharp 5s and just a lot of changes. So, it's got some horn patterns, first time through the head, right? And Rob sings a tune, and Paul takes the first solo. And Paul's playing, it's gorgeous, right? And so I'm sitting back listening to Paul, and I look over, and Paul has his eyes closed, meaning he had memorized and heard the tune, memorized it, and then started soloing the first tune. And now he had never played the tune in his life. And so I'm sitting back and I see, and I look, his eyes are closed. I'm like, what? So he's not looking at the changes. He just memorized it, got the form, memorized the tune, and just and I was like,
man.
Oh man. And then I had the solo and I wanted to cry. So it was it sounds cliche, but man, it's true. It's like, dude, he was killing me. He sounded so beautiful. It was like, oh, Paul.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah. You can't say anything. You just kind of stand there and go, yeah.
I do.
You know who just tuned in?
Who?
Stefan. Yeah.
What's up, bro?
In all of my band pictures, I basically only ever had 3 trumpet players. You, Stefan, and Lewis.
That's it.
Yeah. Who else do I need?
And all three of us are playing in PMO,
Oh,
right?
what is that? What? Come on, man. Did you get the idea from me?
Yeah, when you moved, we had to start another band.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, here was the sad thing. The only other guy that I tried to always call was Steve Campus.
Oh yeah,
and man,
Steve.
that was heartbreaking. When he passed. But I just remember a solo he played on this one little. I was doing some silly little recording thing, and he came over and just played this trumpet solo that was just. It brought me to tears. I mean, that was
right.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Steve was so humble. It was like, when you stand next to a guy and you just, it's real comfortable. And you stand next to Steve, and it's just like, he was never, he didn't need to play all the solos. It was like he passed stuff around, and I'd ask him, "Hey, Steve, what are you doing here?" And then you just tell me, and he was just, he was so cool.
Yeah.
A very good trumpet hang and a great player.
Yeah.
Super interesting to listen to.
Yeah. So, as far as hangs though, the most fun was usually when you and Todd and John Dove were around. But when Stefan around, it was usually kind of sucky.
All right, check your text. Your phone's blowing up, dude.
Yeah, there are two guys that I can't help. I was thinking about this because I've never really given you a lot of shit.
Oh, really?
I mean,
you want me to show you the tapes? I have proof. You know what I mean? Look, just get.
No way.
All right, it's a video. I'm gonna put it on YouTube, my channel.
Hey, easy, fell.
Hey, come on, guy.
Yeah. No. All right. So that got Stefan to respond. See.
Yeah. You just got to make sure he's paying attention.
Making sure. Yeah. Right. But it really was. It was always fun with the guys hanging out in the band, and that was especially when we were doing this full motion gig. Did you ever watch that tape that we had? The videotape I made. It's up on my YouTube channel. At the end of the tape, after we were videotaping it, and we shot all this B-roll where we were playing football in the back of the ballroom at the Fairmont.
Was that in Sacramento?
No, it was at the Fairmont.
Oh, at the Fairmont
in San Francisco.
Oh, yes.
I mean, that's going back. That was like the late 90s. That was 20 years ago, man.
That's painful.
Yeah,
that's painful to hear.
Yeah, but
that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we always had fun. So it was always, once the band was able to do the gig, just play, playing was secondary. The whole rest of it was just having fun. Yeah.
What was fun when you would hire me to play at the top of the mark, and it was just me. There's no, one horn.
Yeah, one horn.
I could be like Chris Bodie and just fill and then play horn lines and solo and big backgrounds.
But yeah, do you sing with Bill? Do you do any?
No, they've got Carmen Grillo. He used to. I don't know if you know Carmen.
Wait! Stefan, you guys suck. I'm going to watch I Love Lucy.
Of all shows. What year is this? I Love Lucy. Might as well be Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Anyway, so Carmen Grillo and does Bill's any of Bill's kids, are they in the band?
No. So he's not anymore. What did he do? He came in third on what was it? What's the singing show?
The Voice.
The Voice. Yeah. So Will isn't. He did a tour or two with us, and then we did a couple of shows where he opened and just played guitar. And dude, that's another genius. Will, I don't know if you've heard him sing.
Yes.
And songwrite. I mean, like, he and what they say, that acorn does, the apple doesn't fall. What's the saying? Doesn't fall.
The apple doesn't fall from the tree. No, it's an apple
from the tree.
Is an
apple acorn.
Acorn.
So Is it Acorn Underground?
No.
Yeah. So same thing with Will. I mean, some of the songs we used to play some of his like kind of pop R&B tunes, and they were gorgeous.
Yeah.
You know, and then to have Bill singing like background, and the mom Tamara's in the band too. I mean, yeah, just happening.
Yeah.
The songwriting is so deep. I got to talk to Bill and say, you got to do one of those master classes.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah. He's a great songwriter.
Yeah. I mean, because what? Do you start with the lyrics first? I mean, how do you come up with lyrics? And then how do you come up with the chords for the lyrics? I mean, do you do chords first?
Yeah.
And then he'll go like, you know, he'll do like, you know, working with David Foster, or he'll start playing After the Love Is Gone, but he'll start doing alternate changes. And then there's already a ton of changes in that song. And he just goes, boom, 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 boom. And it's like, oh, man.
Yeah.
It's so happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how about your brothers? How are your brothers doing?
Good. Jason's playing, you know, he's a jazz guy. He's playing all the time. He's teaching a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
James is teaching. He's still playing. Yeah.
Well, why don't you do a Lewis Brothers band?
Well, we tried that for a minute, but I was playing bass, but it never really got off the ground. So we kind of went our separate way. We broke up before we started.
Oh, you know, that reminds me. One of the reasons why I always love having you and John Gove in the band is because I could have you play all the other instruments.
That was the other fun thing about, you know, playing. What do I play last gig? I played cajon and bass.
Yeah, right? Cajon and bass. You did.
And John played a lot of keyboards.
Yeah. See, you know what a horn player is good for? Playing all the other instruments.
Yeah, I don't know if I played any drum. Did I play drum? No, I think you. Maybe I did, because you had your hands full and stuff.
Yeah, but
that was the other fun thing, man. I love playing drums. I mean, trying to play drums.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. That was fun for me trying to play drums.
I know. I think it's the ADD in all of us. You know, let's play every instrument and you know, kind of play it.
Yeah. So, what was it? I just read another thing from Stefan, and it threw me off.
Yeah. Stop looking down.
Well, he's saying that I can dance too, and I don't know what he means by that. I don't know.
No,
because I can't dance.
Kids have dance.
No, I can't dance. No.
Okay.
All right. So I'm trying to think of something else I wanted to ask you, and that was really it. We're just talking and hanging out.
Talking and hanging, just like a gig.
Just like a gig. This is the same kind of stuff we talk about at the gig.
Yeah, sprinkle it in with some sports, and that's about it, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, we're at the gig. We're playing a wedding. You and Todd and John Doe are standing over there. You're talking. You're looking at your phones. The bride and groom are doing a toast, and you guys are over there talking about like the baseball game. You know, you're watching the baseball game. Like,
yeah.
Like, come on, guys, come on. Hey, we're
I know, we're catching up. You know, we don't see each other all the time. So when we're back there, it's like, hey, man, what kind of coffee did you have today? Yeah, I had this. Oh, you like that wine? Yeah, me too. Did you hear about the Giants today? Man, that pitcher sucks. You know, this is on the gig. And you'd be playing and be like, hey, come on, guys, man. Keep your head in the game.
Yeah.
We're just trying to keep up.
You know this tune? Hey. Do you know this tune? No, we don't know it.
No, this is what happens to horn players. Is like, you guys just start, and we'll go like, what tune is this? Oh, that is. Oh, yeah, this has horns in it. Yeah. Nobody says, just like, play. Let the horn players catch up.
That's funny. Yeah. Anything you want to talk about before I close the show?
I talked about everything I know. Yeah. Okay. That's it.
Well, we haven't talked.
Want to recap?
But recap. So we talked about our the night in Vegas with the three of us, you and your wife.
Yeah.
That really,
leave it at that. That's still killing me.
You know, I'll never. There's a couple of scenes from that night I will never ever be able to unsee.
That happens every time you go to Vegas.
Right?
Yeah.
And did you bring the books? Oh, Stefan, come on! No, I never bring books.
What books?
Right? What books? Okay, so we covered that. We covered your studio and your YouTube channel with the 7,000 followers. Your studio, your Yamaha M7. You know, the microphone, the Royer microphone, and the universal audio interface. We talked about blowing out your hernias in your back with your trumpet.
Multiple, yeah.
We talked about your students, and we talked about playing with Bill Champlin. We talked about some of the fun times we had. We talked about poker.
Yeah.
Talked about
poker, not do that. Yeah.
You know, we talked about the other guys. You know, we made fun of Stefan. You know, that's always. We talked about Todd. We talked about Gove. You see, Lewis. What else have we? You know, that's pretty.
That's it.
That's all
we ran. Yeah, we ran the table. Yeah,
ran a little bit of sports. You know,
sports. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of past gigs. You know, a couple of stories. You know, what else is there?
You never know. You might do another gig again. You never know. You might be forced into.
No, I will never play drums again.
Okay. All right. Well, you can book the gig and I'll play drums, you know. Piss everybody off.
I can book the gig. I can do that. I can book the gig. I've got this little MIDI studio. What I might end up doing is doing like this sort of stuff, little voiceovers and, you know, radio and, you know, a little YouTube show or something.
Well, I think that's super smart, man. It's like in these times, and as the music scene changes, we have to reinvent. You know, you got to reinvent yourself. You got to find another path that's still musical and that still excites you.
Yeah.
And that you're still interested in, right? Because I was talking to my brother yesterday. He's like, "Good, do you get paid like recording music? I mean, yeah, for the session or whatever, but I mean, are people getting paid other than Taylor Swift? I don't know. No. That's not my scene."
Well, you know, guys like me and doing sound for live events is what I was doing, and I was working a lot and making good money.
Right. Well, I'm thinking like those who actually are, you know, bands that record. I mean, do they still do albums and stuff? You know, and that actually bring in sizable chunk of change. Who, I don't know. I guess I don't know. Can you still sell music? Is what I'm saying.
Well, that is the people are trying to figure out a way around that right now, because all the people I'm talking to, you don't really need a record company to make money. You got to own your own music, and you got to be careful how you license it, because Spotify and all the streaming services are practically giving it away and not really paying people for it.
Right.
So it's, you know, how do you really make money in the music business? You know, maybe teaching sessions where you get paid a fee for playing on a session.
Right.
Songwriting placement is where all the money's going to be made. Songwriting and getting it placed in TV shows, and there's so much content, and they all went, you know, and so guys with small studios, guys that are able to whip out a tune really quick and get it placed on a TV show, those people, and they call them cues or whatever, you know, get a cue for this song, get a cue for that little 30-second, 1 minute little bits, you know, you can make money at that.
I have a friend that does placements, and I was off the other day, and he's like, check it out my placements. Right. And it's like, you know, NBC News, this YouTube channel, this commercial, this, you know, movie of the week, or what movie of the week, like they call that still. But, you know, a ton, hundreds, and little chunk of change. So you're right. I mean, there are are ways to still get paid. You just have to be willing to adapt.
Yeah.
YouTube, stuff we're doing. You had mentioned earlier using advertisements on your channel or having a website. It's
Mm-hmm.
affiliate marketing. All of those are just little income streams. It's different, but it's doable.
It is doable, but it's really different than it's not about just going out and playing anymore to make a living.
No. To make, any real money. I guess it depends on where you live. I don't know. And we know how expensive it is where we're at.
Well, and the big shows that tour and actually pay guys aren't happening. And those aren't probably going to happen for a little while yet.
Right.
So,
and even if they do happen, they don't happen forever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, so, the national touring act getting paid, but, like I said, the side, what are the side musicians, going to continue to do? I mean, I really think, I don't know how long it's going to be around, but YouTube, I see a lot of people who tour, who when they're not touring, have a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
And their content, if they're getting a lot of hits and a lot of subscribers, there's some income there. Maybe they put out, they've got a subscription. I saw a guy who tours. I don't remember who it was, but when he's not on the road, he had to, you subscribe to his. I think he played bass or guitar, and it's a different lesson every week. So he could put out. Let's say he's on the road. He's in his hotel room. He puts out a lesson on how to play whatever tune or whatever he's doing. He posts that. He does a gig at night, so he's getting a double income. He's super smart.
Yeah,
he's working the system.
Nelson Braxton is kind of that way, where he would take a little interface and a computer everywhere he went, so he would be able to record parts from the back of a bus and send it.
Right.
When he's doing both.
Right.
Right. Those are the kind of things that just be able to record parts and send them.
Right. Right.
And of all the instruments that are hard to get to get right, is you can almost do a synthesizer on everything except guitar,
everything.
Guitar, trumpet, sometimes sax,
and sometimes sax. Yeah.
Sax, no, sax and trumpet, you almost always have to have a real horn to lead the part, to really get it right, to sound.
Yeah.
So.
Right. You can fill out the section with some of this, I think, and it's fine. It sounds fat, just as long as you have at least some live players.
Right. Yeah.
Otherwise, it sounds like synth horns.
It doesn't sound right.
Depends on what you're going for.
Yeah.
No.
But if it's just,
it depends on what you're going for.
If it's a little 30-second, spot on a radio, or a little TV thing, or it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You just need to be able to play keyboard.
Right.
That's what I should learn. I got a little keyboard here, but I don't have the patience to get my keyboard chops together. I'd have to remember too much stuff.
Well, the keyboards nowadays can pretty much play themselves, so you could just do loops.
Yeah, and GarageBand. I can write a tune in GarageBand easy.
There's just so many options. Joking, but still, there's just so many options. There's so many different venues, or what's the word? I don't know. Options than we had when we first started out with the internet. Now it's different. There's not as much live playing, but it's different. People posting all the time.
Yeah, the thing that we are now is we're more by ourselves, so we're more of a solo act. You can't.
Yeah.
There's no going out and hanging with the fellas, and and hanging with the band and playing, and having the camaraderie and getting the chemistry going, and the what it feels like to play with a band, and you get that magic moment. Those kind of things are not going to happen.
Right.
We're solo acts. We're sitting here doing solo stuff.
One off.
Yeah.
I remember playing with bands, and I'd be playing with the same trumpet player for a long time, like doing a show or something. And it's like, I know how he's going to phrase this next line before we even play it. And so we're playing together already because I know how people are going to play, and you want to fit in with that section. So that, I mean, I think about, back in the 40s when people used to tour nonstop and it was the same guys. Or maybe it was Basie in Kansas City where they're playing 6 nights a week or 7, who knows, with the same guys every night and playing, 1 o'clock jump, the same every night. Everybody knows how they're going to play, and there's no charts.
Yeah.
And it's a big band and there's no charts, right? I mean, how tight that must have been.
What,
it must have been so tight.
What that
literally
felt like to be able to do that. Music.
I don't know.
Man.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. The whole reason I wanted to play is I wanted to play, and that's all everybody would talk about is playing and getting that club gig, getting that steady, doing something 5 nights a week, because there was a time when that was possible.
I know. I used to do those. Yeah. They were all hotel gigs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And the last one I had was in 78. Was a hotel gig. Well, then I had cruise ship gigs, but that cruise ship gigs,
right?
Those don't really count, because you're never really thinking about playing. You're thinking about everything but playing the gig.
Everything else, yeah. I've never done one, but I'm not against it, man.
Hey, Dave Martell tuned in, and
Dave's killing me.
Yeah, well, Dave, and so we've had Dave, Stefan, Todd,
yeah.
Who else? Anybody? No. We need to make. Do we need to make fun of somebody to get him to tune in?
Where's Jamie?
Where's Jamie? Man. All right. Well, we've been doing an hour and 20 minutes. I promised my daughter I'd do something with her. Hey,
man.
Hey,
this is great.
Wait, how old are your kids?
19 and 15.
Jeez.
Scary.
15?
I know, right?
So
yeah, junior in college, junior in high school.
Jesus, you remember when you came to my house in San Francisco and they were just little tiny and Cody was playing with them? We said, yeah, get Cody. He'll babysit him.
Yeah. Dude, I remember I was on a gig. We were in Palo Alto on a country club gig, and I show up to the gig, and you're like, how's your wife? I said, she's in labor. You're like, what are you doing here? And it was like, it was just starting. She said she'd call me when it was time to go. I did the gig. I think I went home and we went straight to the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, it was on one of your gigs.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, see, that's good for something.
Dude, that was 19 years ago.
Man, that's
crazy.
Well, Dave says hi.
Yeah.
So
say hey to Dave for me.
Dave. So that's a long time. My youngest, who I think the last time you were at my house in San Francisco, she was 1 year old.
Yeah.
She's 14.
And she's
14. She's going to be 15 this next month.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have this.
That's crazy.
We have this thing we do. We go out and we get a donut and we drive around town. We just drive around and eat donuts. And I let her drive.
There you go.
And it's been perfect during the whole quarantine thing because the police. Nobody's out. So we just drive. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
It's changing a little bit now that things are opening back up. I kind of liked it when it was all quiet at night.
Yeah. No traffic.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I remember when just a couple of days ago when we were in what do they call it? The lockdown. We couldn't go curfew.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd been teaching all day and I was like, oh, In-N-Out Burger. Yes. Boom. Hit the road. I'm like, where is everybody? And nobody's out. The show In-N-Out Burgers. Oh yeah. It's like it was really creepy. I totally forgot.
It is. One of the nights we drove downtown LA and it's a ghost town. you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it felt weird. It felt like those movies, you know, The Day the Earth Stood Still, you know, those kind of
Yeah.
movies. It was
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
especially at
Well,
first.
it was real. Yeah.
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 You know, now people
Yeah, man.
people are slowly getting out. So,
Yeah.
so Jeff, this is the start of my 13th week
Wow.
doing interviews, and
Good for you.
I'm
It's fun.
I'm into like 130 shows now.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
a lot.
And
Putting in your time.
I am, and pretty much everybody I know. I'm trying to stretch out though. I want to get some people I don't know. No, Ralph Humphrey.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that's always one thing I've always, you know, I want to have some people and do some interviews, some other trumpet players, but I'm always like, I don't want to bother them. So I'm going to let you do that, man. I'm going to encourage you to just get out there and try to get whoever you want. I mean, all they can do is say no, right? Even though, you know, I'm afraid.
Well, I had Wayne on because Bergeron, you know, and he's kind of a, you know, everybody knows him. But he and I were friends. We did gigs together. So,
yeah,
you know, there's just some guys that I don't really know. Everybody's like a phone call away in this business. You know, it's like everybody
1 degree of separation.
Yeah, it's only 1 degree in the music business, really. At a certain, so all it means is, you know, call up, say, hey, I'm a buddy, and blah blah blah, and you know, I used to do that all the time when I was looking for guys in the band. I wouldn't hesitate to call anybody.
I know you called me, dude.
Yeah, I don't know who told me to call you, man.
Yeah, that was a mistake. Yeah,
who would have done that? Dave?
Lewis?
Maybe. John Worley?
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know.
Stefan wasn't even in town when I first started calling you.
He wasn't even in town, no. Yeah.
You guys were because you were doing my big band with me back in like 93, 94. That's when, you know, I needed lots of guys.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Yeah. Man, that's going way back.
Yep. What happened?
You're not even half as old as I am, man.
Way more than half. Yeah.
Well. Yeah. Well, no.
56.
You're what?
Yeah. 56.
You're not 56. No.
56. Way. That's my boyish charm.
You're like 36. You're like 46.
Oh man, you say that to all the girls. Come on, man. I'm 56. Yeah.
I was telling somebody the other day, I said, I was trying to add up. I said, yeah, I haven't had insurance since I was 40. I haven't had insurance for like 40 years. I'm like, wait a minute. That would make me 80. And somebody typed in like, good for 82. Oh, that's
Thanks.
right. I am only 62. Yeah. Okay. I
yeah. Nice.
Still, that man, there was a day when I thought 62 was old as dirt, and it still is old as dirt.
It is. I just don't feel it.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I'm going to let you go. We're approaching an hour and a half. We got a whole audience.
Yeah.
You know, we blew through one audience, and now we've got a whole new audience, and we're going to blow through them and just, you know.
That's right. Keep going.
Yeah.
Right to the finish line.
So I started doing this thing on Friday nights called Friday Night Hang with Tom Politzer. I had him on Friday night, and we sat and talked for like 2 hours. And people started calling in. I mean, we were just sitting and talking, and we said, well, it's time to get off. And somebody said, no, keep talking. Next thing we know, it's 2 hours. So we did it again. And then we did it now. 2 weeks ago, we did it for like 3 hours, and we were still 50 people watching the whole time. Like, what?
Wow.
People obviously have nothing to do.
Yeah.
This is better than watching some of the. I mean, what's on TV right now? I mean, nothing. Nothing to watch. You know.
Well, yeah, people love Tom too. I mean, he's super affable. You know.
He is. He's pretty funny.
He's a good hang. He's a bro's bro.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's Friday Night Hang with Tom. So
perfect.
All right, Jeff. Well, I'm going to close this out with a
all right, man.
And thanks for talking with me for the last hour and a half. We covered all the bases.
We covered it, man. There's no more.
There's nothing more to talk about.
Oh, dude, killed it. Thanks for having me on the show. Dude.
Thanks for coming. All right. Talk to you later.
All right, man. All right. Take care.
Bye.
Yeah.